Very good morning to my class 5th students. Welcome to another class of science. So here I am with my new video, that is part 2 video of chapter number 15, Blow Hot, Blow Cold. Do you know, my dear students, this story is written by whom? Yeah, this story is written by Dr. Zakir Hussain. He was the former President of India. In my part 1 video, I began the reading and explanation of the chapter. As you know, this story is about two characters, that is Woodcutter and Mia Balestier. Now in this video, continuation of the story, we'll move to the next stanza. Soon it was afternoon. The woodcutter began to think of lunch. He picked up 2 stones and made a chula. He lit a fire and put a small handi pot filled with potatoes to boil. The wood was damp. So the woodcutter bent down and blew on the fire to help it burn. Balestier was watching him from a distance. "Arey," he said to himself, "there he goes again, blowing from his mouth. Does fire come out of his mouth?" Now it was daytime. The woodcutter began preparing lunch. For this he picked up 2 stones for making chula. And then he lit fire and put a small handi, that is pot. And he wanted to boil potatoes. As the wood was damp, damp means slightly wet. So he bent down and blew on the fire to burn it. And Mia Balestier was watching all these things very minutely and talking to himself and was very confused. Now again he is blowing and thinking that, does fire come out of his mouth? Moving to the next stanza. The woodcutter was feeling very hungry. He took out a potato from the handi. He tried to eat it, but the potato was too hot. He again began to blow on it. Foo, foo. "Hurry," said Balestier to himself. "He is blowing again. Now what? Is he going to burn the potato?" After blowing a few more foo-foos on it, the woodcutter put it in his mouth and began to eat it. Now the woodcutter took out the potato as he was feeling very hungry and tried to cool it by blowing. Watching all this, Mia Balestier again became confused that first he was blowing fire and now again blowing on hot potato and making hot potato more hotter. Now Mia was very surprised. He just could not stop himself and off he went hopping to the woodcutter. "Hello brother," he said. "If you don't mind, can I ask you a question again?" The woodcutter replied, "Not at all. Ask whatever you want." Now Mia Balestier was totally confused and with again his strength, he went to the woodcutter and asked very politely, "Hello brother, can I ask a question?" "If you don't mind," the woodcutter replied. Ask, I will not mind at all." Mia Balestier said, "This morning you told me that you blew on your hands to warm them up. Now you are blowing on this potato, which is already so hot. Why do you want to make it hotter?" Now Mia Balestier asked that this morning you told me you are blowing to warm your hands and now you are blowing on the hot potato, which is already hotter. Why you are making them more hotter? "Oh no, my little friend, this potato is too hot. I am blowing on it to cool it down." When he heard this, Mia Balestier's face became white. He began to tremble with fear and started to back away. The woodcutter smiled and said, Now my little friend, potato is very hot, so I am blowing to make it cool. As Mia Balestia heard this, he started trembling with fear. His face became white. The woodcutter was a good man. He said, "What's wrong, Mia? Are you trembling because of cold?" So the woodcutter asked Mia Balestia, "Why you're trembling? Are you feeling cold?" But Mia Balestia kept going backwards. When he was a safe distance away, he said to himself, "What kind of a creature is this? Surely he must be a ghost or a jinn. Blow hot, blow cold with the same breath. It is just not possible." That's right. There are some things which just cannot be, but they are. Now Mia Balestia starting taking the steps backwards, and when he found himself safe, he asked from himself that woodcutter is not an ordinary man. He must be a ghost or a jinn. As the woodcutter was doing all his work by blowing, he was thinking he must have some power of blowing hot and cold with the same air. So it was not possible for Mia Balestia to do the same activities, that is blow hot, blow cold with the same breath. So this was the story, my dear children. We will do some of the activities in the Zoom class. Now I will explain you about inhaling and exhaling. So watch this video attentively. The exchanging of gas through nose is called breathing. Breathing involves 2 steps. Number 1, breathe in, that is inhalation. Second, breathe out, that is exhalation. Now let's understand the process of respiration through this small video. We breathe through nasal cavity, then the air goes to trachea or windpipe through pharynx. This pharynx has one more opening which leads to food pipe. Now air passes through windpipe through bronchi, which forms many narrow branches called bronchioles. Small air sacs or alveoli receive the air and oxygen from the air, diffuses into blood through thin wall of blood capillaries during the diffusion process. So my dear children, this was the process of respiration in human beings. Now I will explain you, fill in the blanks of chapter number 15, Blow Hot, Blow Cold. Number 1. The story Blow Hot, Blow Cold was written by Zakir Hussain. Number 2. On blowing air from the mouth on the mirror becomes moist. Moist means slightly wet. Number 3. Air is a mixture of several gases. Number 4. Woodcutter was blowing his hands to warm them. Number 5. Cold air is heavy and comes down. Number 6. Our breath is cooler than hot tea. Number 7. The lungs and respiratory system allow us to breathe. Children, you can see the diagram of respiratory system. Draw it very neatly in your science notebooks. So this was my part 2 video. We'll meet in our next video, that is part 3. Till then, goodbye. God bless you all. Thank you all.